Hello, welcome to the presentation guide. The purpose of this video is to understand the steps and resources to complete part 1 of the presentation and close module. So this is our final meeting with Aaron Atkins. We finally made it to the point where we have a good understanding of what the customer wants. We understand their buying conditions and their strategies. And now we're able to provide a presentation that will effectively persuade the customer to hopefully want to close and do business with us. So in terms of the presentation portfolio, let's take a look at what we need to accomplish. Now, if we look at the salesperson instructions, again, the main focus here is providing a persuasive sales presentation that fits the customer, in this case Aaron's needs. And we're really going to take a look at chapter 12 to understand the presentation module. We'll also take a look at page 2 of this instructions that will help us understand how we should organize our presentation. And we'll discuss briefly what we mean by the FBR, or feature benefit reaction approach. And we'll take a look at an example. So in terms of how our presentation should look like, let's scroll down here, and you can see each page is a slide of our PowerPoint, and we're really going to start off with the summary of our buying conditions. So remember, in our previous meeting, in our previous module, we should have already established the buying conditions of Aaron. Here we're just sort of summarizing them again, and there should be some sort of confirmation with Aaron, some sort of dialogue to ensure that we are correct. And when we go through these slides, you can see that we're basically going to be providing more detail on each buying condition. We're going to also discuss or show our proof devices. So we discussed briefly what proof devices mean. We'll take a look at that again in a moment. But basically, again, we're just trying to support the features and benefits of our offerings. And we want to add some confirmation questions as well. So each of the 2 pages will cover one buying condition. So you can see buying condition 1 on page 2 and 3. And then we're going to repeat the process until we get to all 6 buying conditions. And at the end, we're just going to have a sort of summary of our benefits. And then we'll talk a little bit about how we're going to close in the next video. Now, in terms of more detail regarding the buying conditions approach, we can see here, this is what we really want to do, is we want to match those buying conditions with proof devices and the features and benefits. So this is a great example here. We talked about the number of rooms, and again, this information should have been discovered in the previous module, but here we're going to now offer a proof device to show the value of what we can offer, maybe discuss some of the features or the statistics about that offering, but also talk specifically what the benefit is to Aaron and his team. And finally, we want to have some sort of reaction. So that's where the FBR approach comes from: feature, benefit, and reaction. So there should be a confirmation question, and there should be a dialogue or reaction from Aaron. So that's how the presentation should be organized and the content that should be included. Let's take a look at some other resources that we can use to complete our presentation. So we're going to go back to our forms. And if we recall, something like this is what we used, I believe, when we created the proposal letter and the sales proposal. And if you recall, we took a look at the sales presentation tools, and these were our proof devices. So again, when we're trying to add proof devices to our presentation, we're going to be using this PDF document. It's going to be very helpful to provide some sort of visual in promoting and showing the benefit of our establishment. Now, there may be some pictures, there might be testimonials, okay, and this is really helpful to, again, show that value that we can offer for our guest. So that's what we mean by proof device. And in terms of chapter 12, we want to really focus in on a couple main points. So the way we communicate is very important, and there are different sort of forms of communication in terms of technical communication and also persuasive communication. And we want to try and have a balance. Even though this is a persuasive presentation, we also want to add some technical communication, so showing that we understand the data and some numbers that can help drive this sale as well. But take a look at that definitely in chapter 12. Also, what's important, and again, this is similar to the FBR approach. This is another example of how we want to use those slides, talk about the feature, show that proof device, discuss the benefit of that feature, and again, how will the customer react? What do we expect from the customer reaction, or what will we do in terms of confirming that this is indeed something valuable for the guest. So those are really the two main focus that you should provide in chapter 12 that will help with creating the presentation. And finally, of course, we want to take a look at the evaluation. And what I really want to point out is, this is an opportunity to be creative. So, you want to make it a unique presentation. We have an idea of what Aaron is expecting in terms of offering, but, we can really make an impactful presentation if we figure out ways to perhaps, include a story or a metaphor, or, have some testimonials. Other than that, of course, we talked about proof devices. So we discussed also make sure you have persuasive and technical communication, and that FBR approach, that feature benefit reaction, make sure that we do have those within each of our buying conditions. And that's what we really want to focus on for the presentation. Stay tuned for the next video in terms of closing the deal.